So let us try to first of all get a RHEL server for ourselves. So go to EC2. Let's get a server. Let's try to start the installation part. Let the machine start. So I'm getting a noise from somebody. Please mute yourself in case you're not talking. A lot of noise is coming. अरे Here we go. Let's start by doing an update. So update will take a lot of time actually in this machine. Who is it writing anything? It takes quite a time to update an RHEL machine. So just wait for some time.
मॉर्निंग विजन अंकित हियर।
अंकित हाय।
गुड मॉर्निंग, कैसे हैं आप?
बस बढ़िया।
मैं कल नेगियोस पढ़ रहा था,
हम्म
तो उस पे वो जो आपने दिखाया था ना कि अपन पोर्ट नंबर 8080 को 80 पे चेंज करेंगे सर्वर डॉट एक्सएमएल पे, और फिर वो काम नहीं किया था तो आपने फिर से उसको रिवर्ट कर दिया था। एक्चुअली पता है मुझे क्या समझ में आ रहा था, वो जो आपकी इंडेक्स डॉट एचटीएमएल फाइल थी ना, आपने उसको इंडेक्स डॉट पीएचपी पे चेंज किया था।
वो
ठीक है।
दूसरी मशीन में था।
ओहो, ऐसा था क्या?
हम्म।
ओके। और दूसरा चीज क्या, आपने वो जो वेर डब्ल्यू एचटीएमएल के अंदर आपने वो एक कौन सी फाइल थी जिसका आपने ओरिजिनल करके चेंज किया था?
वेर HTML में नहीं था, वो टॉमकैट के सर्वर डॉट एक्सएमएल वाला था।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, आपने एक फाइल बनाया था ना जिसका ओरिजिनल किया था, कौन सी?
HTTPD config।
एचटीटीपी कॉन्फ़िग। उसका एक्चुअली ओरिजिनल की जगह अपन उसका सेम फाइल बना सकते थे, या फिर उसके अंदर वैसा कर सकते थे ना, रूट डायरेक्टरी वेर www.html और डायरेक्टरी इंडेक्स करके।
कर सकता, मैं एक रिवर्स प्रॉक्सी सेटअप करने की कोशिश कर रहा था, जिसमें हो नहीं रहा था। मुझे रिवर्स प्रॉक्सी कराना है। रिवर्स प्रॉक्सी HTTP सर्वर में कैसे करते हैं मुझे आइडिया नहीं है। मैं टिपिकली एनजीएनएक्स पे काम करता हूँ।
देखिए।
तो एनजीएनएक्स कम्स विद एन ऑटोमेटेड एप्लीकेशन लोड बैलेंसिंग अलोंग विद रिवर्स प्रॉक्सी। वो मस्त सर्वर होता है, हम उस पे काम करते हैं। तो वो वाला मुझे आइडिया, इसका मुझे उतना आइडिया नहीं है।
अच्छा।
HTTPD सर्वर मतलब ये थोड़ा सा अजीब है, क्योंकि टिपिकली पीपल वर्क विद HTTPD सर्वर मोस्टली, बट मैंने हमेशा एनजीएनएक्स पे काम किया हुआ है। एनजीएनएक्स आजकल लोग कर रहे हैं, पूरे एनजीएनएक्स पे काम कर रहे हैं। पहले लोग वो करते थे, ये मतलब HTTPD ही बस यूज करते थे, आजकल HTTPD उतना
इवन
यूज नहीं होता
हम लोगों की ऑफिस में भी एनजीएनएक्स ही यूज करते हैं।
है। Nginx
और
यूज होता है हर जगह भी।
और दूसरी चीज क्या, ये जो अभी एनसिबल स्टार्ट किए है ना, तो एनसिबल ना हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट है पूरे एनसिबल के थ्रू ही इंस्टॉल करते हैं
करेक्ट
जब
करेक्ट
डिप्लॉय करते हैं। तो
करेक्ट।
अभी आप थोड़ा सा हाईलाइट दे सकते हो कि मतलब कैसे कॉन्फ़िगरेशन टूल होता है, वो वाईएमएल फाइल कैसे काम करती है,
करेक्ट
इन्वेंटरी फाइल्स कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं, तो थोड़ा सा जो फंडामेंटल होता है ना वो और क्लियर हो जाए।
करेक्ट करेक्ट।
विशाल, एक और क्वेश्चन था, ये जो अपन डॉकर पढ़ते हैं ना, डॉकर और कुबरनेट्स दोनों बेसिकली कंटेनराइजेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करते हैं, है ना? तो एक्चुअली हमको ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि डॉकर कब यूज करना है, कुबरनेट कब यूज करना है, या फिर ये कंपनी पे डिपेंड होता है, या फिर मतलब कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं?
इफ यू हैव ओनली वन सिंगल सर्वर, जहाँ पे आपके पास बस एक सर्वर है, उसके अंदर जाके आपको सारे डिप्लॉयमेंट्स करने हैं, तब डॉकर यूज करोगे। अगर आप क्लस्टर है तो कुबरनेटिस यूज करोगे, फिर डॉकर स्वॉर्म यूज करोगे।
अच्छा, ओके। तो डॉकर स्वार्म यूज करेंगे और कुबरनेट्स यूज करेंगे आप बोल रहे हो, तो अगेन
क्लस्टर
दोनों
में
में, हाँ, तो उस अगेन उसमें कुछ डिफरेंशिएशन होता है या फिर?
कुबरनेटिस बहुत ज्यादा एडवांस्ड है, डॉकर स्वॉर्म में उतनी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं मिलती है।
तो अभी डॉकर यूज करते हैं, डॉकर स्वार्म, या कुबरनेट्स यूज, क्योंकि मेरे यहाँ कुबरनेट्स यूज करते हैं।
तो अच्छी बात है ना, कुबरनेटिस एडवांस्ड है सबसे।
अच्छा, तो मतलब मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा था कि मतलब मुझे कौन से पर्टिकुलर टूल्स पे ज्यादा कंसंट्रेट करना चाहिए, जैसे एंसिबल हो गया,
हम्म
और फिर सेकंड नेगियोस मैंने पढ़ रखा है,
हम्म।
और फिर उसके बाद आपका ये डाकर सॉन पढ़ना चाहिए, या फिर कुबरनेट्स, कुबरनेट्स, हाँ कुबरनेट्स ही तो
अगर
नाम
अगर
है ना।
अगर कुबरनेटिस यूज हो रही है तो वो ही पढ़ लो। अगर स्वॉर्म आपका टिपिकली देखो, स्वॉर्म थोड़ा सा आसान होता है ऐसे तो यूज करने में, but उसमें उतनी flexibility नहीं मिलती है। Kubernetes is actually done in such a way that depending upon which cloud you're putting that on, it will automatically take a shape according to that particular cloud. हमने AWS पे देखा है, अगर आप दूसरे क्लाउड में ले जाकर उसको डालोगे तो उसके accordingly it will take a shape, it will change its shape like that. It doesn't happen with Swarm. Swarm is a particular product and no matter where you're putting it, it works the same way. So everything has got its own pros and cons. In case your company is using Kubernetes, then I think that is the way to go for you. You don't have any other option also. But in case you're trying to set up by yourself, then if it's a single server, go for Dockers, and which is once again not a very good idea. I've always told this. If you're going for, let's say, multiple server clusterized environment, then probably you should go for Kubernetes in case you are looking for an immense flexibility. If you want the ease of work, you should go for Docker Swarm. Okay.
ओके।
Mhm. Fine. So let's start this particular thing. So I'll start by installation of Python, right? So the first thing I shall do is I'll install Python. Right. So let us check this thing. Now that I've installed Python, if I write down Python version, see what happens. It says command not found. But if I go like Python 3, let's say version, then it will tell me what version of Python is installed. So that's a problem. We want it to be usable by the word Python. I mean, that doesn't make a much difference. But the only thing is that it will be good if it can be used by the word Python. So if you want to do so, there is something called alternative, right? You can set an alternative for this. How to use that? Acha, before that, let's say, so you can see that where this Python 3 is installed. It's under user bin Python 3, right? So let us go ahead and let us write down alternatives. Set Python for user bin Python 3. So we are setting an alternative called Python for user bin Python 3. Okay. Sorry. So now if we go like Python version, it will give me the output. So this is what I did basically. So it was not something very fancy, but kind of useful stuff going forward. It might be of use. I just thought it might be of use. So I just installed this. So let me install the Python pip. Now what is pip? Pip is Python. I don't know the full form of pip. But anyway, all the Python based packages can be installed using pip. So that's a package manager for Python. Just like for RHEL, you got the yum package manager. So similarly, for Python specifically, there is a pip file, the package manager. We install that. So yum install Python 3 hyphen pip, right? I think, yeah, fine. It is okay. Sudo, sorry. Dependencies resolved. Python 3 pip is already installed. Nothing to do. That's wonderfully good. Great. So now we have got in this machine. Python 3 pip is also installed on this machine. So I should be able to run a pip version. Okay, that's bad. Python 3 pip. No. Okay. Pip 3. Pip 3. It is called pip 3, right? So pip version you can see it is installed is 9.2.3 and usually Python 3.3.6 side packages. Within that, this particular thing is given over there. All right, wonderful. So now let us go ahead and let us try to actually start playing with it. I want to create a new user, right? So typically when you're using Ansible, you want to have one user that is throughout present in all of the machines that you are launching, right? So now, anyway, but either you can create a new user and play with that, or maybe you can use EC2 user also. Typically, it is a good idea to use a different user because when you use EC2 user, now EC2 user can be used for other purposes also. In our example, to this specific example, EC2 user works because we know that we're not going to install anything else in this machine. But in an unusual scenario, we will try to typically create a user for the Ansible also and then use it for that. So let us go ahead and let us do that, right? So let's create a user add. Let's call this ans user, right? Ansible user, something like that, right? Or ans admin, Ansible admin, and anything, something like this. Go for a sudo Ansible admin, let's say. So added a new user with the name ans admin and sudo, let's say, password ans admin, right? Write down the password. Let's say a, again a, and that's it, right? So we wrote a password called a basically. So we got a user with the name ans admin and the password a, right? Okay. Let us go for sudo ysudo. Okay. Now this is a very important thing. Okay, extremely important thing. Do not mess up with this file. So I want to find out a particular part where you can see allows people in this group, in the group wheel, to run all commands. So what I want to do, I want to add this guy in this particular, or I can add it here also. Okay, let us add it here in the sudo ers file, right? So see, I'm going to add ans admin, the user that I created just now, as all equal to all, which basically means it can do everything. Okay, and then I'll give no password. I'm just writing the same thing that is there for EC2 user, basically, because I want the complete control of this machine. So I need it to have the entire thing with itself. So I gave this particular thing. I wrote that Ansible admin should have no password authentication over there. Go and allow this. And this is the most important step, what you did just now. Okay. All right. So now let us go ahead and let us. Okay, we can actually go for, let's go to SSHD, or the SSHD service once, and let us check out certain things. So let us go to cd, or let's say, let me open up sudo vi etc sshd config. Let's open up this one, and here if you see, you have the password based authentication somewhere, right? So just search for it. Password authentication is turned as no, right? So this one you can make it yes also if you want, or you can keep it no also if you want, right? So let us make it yes, so that we can use both password as well as public key. So I'm just changing it to yes. Okay, and then you can actually go for doing a restart of your SSHD. So sudo service SSHD restart, right? So this was the basic, just the preparation of the environment for actually trying to install the Ansible stuff. Let me go to the Ansible admin user, right? All right. So you can see it is at home Ansible admin right now. Let us go ahead and let us write down pip3 is working. I think it should work. Pip3 install Ansible. Okay. Here is a certain thing. You can Ansible either for all users or for a certain user. I want this Ansible permission to be only given to the Ansible admin user. So I'm going to write down -- user over here. So that means whichever user is logged in or whoever is trying to run the command, they will only get the permission. Okay.
हेलो
Yes.
तो विशाल ये यूजर यूजर क्यों हाइफन हाइफन यूजर
-n user is that, as I already told you, that is for installing Ansible only for this particular user, whoever is logged in right now. That means Ansible admin.
ओके सो इट विल नॉट बी एक्सेस फॉर ईसीटी यूजर
Exactly. It is only for Ansible admin users. You are restricting itself.
ओके
क्योंकि Ansible, देखो, Ansible is a something that gets permission over SSH. अगर आपने permission सबको दे दी, anybody can go and do anything over there. Ansible is a very critical tool, right? So it is always suggested that you create a user for it and you only install it for the particular user. Someone who does not have access to this particular Ansible admin user, they will not be able to. I mean, you should not keep a password like a, then anybody can log in. But yeah, typically, you can understand the point, right? Clear?
या यस
So let's go for it. Ansible version 2.9.4. Let's still check it. Ansible version, and we are finding out 2.9.4. That's wonderfully good. That's perfectly fine. Let's clear it off. Let's start working over here. So now let me create an SSH key. Okay, over here now here comes the main trick. See, let us create an SSH key over here. So I'll create a SSH key. I'll write down SSH keygen. Okay, done. So you have So you got an .ssh folder over here, you can see, right? And the last one, and we can go for cd.ssh. You'll find out you have your public and private keys both over there. So the pub is the public key and the default one is the private key. Right, let's come back. So now this is the machine on where we are running our Ansible. We need to get some more machines running which we want to test, right? Which we want to test using Ansible, right? Which we want to check using Ansible. So let us quickly go ahead and let us try to open up another machine over there. Okay. Okay. Before that, let me see if I can run this command. Ansible all mping. Okay, good. No inventory passed. Fine. So the command is running. Okay. Ansible localhost ping. Okay. This is giving you. Okay. I missed something. Sorry. -m. No inventory. Yes. Localhost success. Right. So see, this kind of a message you will find out written in JSON format. Okay. Not exactly JSON format, but in a kind of key value pair basically, where you will find out that when I'm trying to ping to the other machines, whether that is responding or not. So now when I wrote Ansible all mping, it failed because honestly there is no so I have not listed down any host. I have to mention some host in my etc hosts file, which I've not done. But when I told Ansible localhost mping, it actually went there and actually pinged it, right? So without any issue, we can get a ping response, and it says that it is perfectly working over here, right? So this is the kind of command we can write to figure out whether we are having a connectivity with other machines or not. This is the start. I mean, a lot of things are there, right? So this is just the start. This M, by the way, stands for module. So there are multiple modules. This ping is not just treated as a command. It is in fact treated as a module. So ping is a module that ultimately does ping. Okay, think in this way. So ping is a module that ultimately triggers the ping command. Okay, ping itself is not a command over here. -m, you can see it here. Read it somewhere, it will be there. -m is module. PBOTK SFTP extra void for what I this one. -m is module name. Okay, so that's what it is. So basically ping is considered as a module. So what it will be doing, it will be actually triggering the ping command itself. So it is basically nothing but this one, ping 127.0.0.1. That's what it did as of now, right? So you can see it getting response. So when it gets a response, it will give you this kind of a green colored output. Don't go by the color might change depending upon the color scheme you are using. Just go by the text that says localhost success. Okay, so when you send a ping, if the response comes back, it calls it pong. So kind of ping pong basically. That's what is happening. Now this ping pong we need to see for every other machine, not for only this machine. For every other machine we want to see a ping pong happening. Okay, let us go on to our instance. Let us launch another. So this is our control node. Control node means where our Ansible installation is done. Let us create another machine. Okay, let's quickly go ahead and launch it. So let's call this thing managed node. So this node is getting managed, going to be managed by the control node. Okay, so let us come back over here, create a new session. I'll just rename it as control node. I got a weird slash, but anyway, leave it. Why did it get stuck? What happened? Something is wrong. Arey? What's wrong with this guy? Am I doing something wrong, guys? Just have a look at it. What is happening? Why is the OK button not working? Wait a second. Sessions. Okay, fine, cool. It took already. Okay, I'll rename this one as managed host. Okay, managed node, whatever you want to call it. So let me go for a sudo yum update. Hey, hang on a second. This is 3.8. This is a different one. This is not that one. The same one as this one, right? Let me see. Oh, this is the previous one. Wait a second. Yes. Which one is this one then? This is the one. This is the one. Okay. Nice, great. So now let's see. So we have this stuff running now. Typically, okay, fine. What I'll do is that the key that I had created. So I'll call this thing managed host. Let's say managed node. Okay. Now, in usual cases, you'll be actually trying to keep the username same throughout, so that gives you more flexibility to work with, because you don't need to worry about the usernames. Because in case the usernames go very different, it sometimes become a little difficult to track it. So usually we'll be having one dummy user created everywhere, which will be controlling the Ansible operations in all the machines. I mean, that is the usual practice. You people heard about a company called Akamai. There was a guy who who got trained from me. So he was working in Akamai. So they had Akamai was earlier the company who was serving the networks for AWS. I mean, AWS, when first they came up, AWS cloud. Now AWS itself does it. Initially, Akamai was in charge in serving the what? Serving the networks for AWS cloud. So still, from that day itself, right? So from at that point of time, whenever there is any such thing, there multiple machines involved and all those things, you know, to automate the SSH and whatever, you typically used to go for with the same username. So that's typically the idea. But let me try to do something. I don't know if it will work or not. Let me try to play with two different usernames. I mean, it should work logically. Logically, it should work. There should be any issue, but it's not a very good practice. Let me try to. Otherwise, I can create an Ansible user in the other machines also. But let me just try to work with EC2 user in other machine. But here it is, let's say, Ansible admin. Let us try to see how it works. So what I shall do is that I'll copy the key into that machine. Okay, so SSH copy ID and EC2 user at, and I need to write down the server's IP address basically. So 172.31.87.92. 172.31 what? 87.92. It should work out. I mean, logically it should work out. Let us see. Yes. Permission denied. Sudo. Okay. Wait a second. Permission denied, public key. Okay, fine. Great. Okay, fine. Not an issue. Wait a second. This can be done. Let me go into .ssh once again. And so there is a new file right now called known host. Let me delete this. Known hosts. Okay. People, can you mute yourselves in case you are not talking? A lot of noise. Ankit, Bhagavan. Okay. So I've deleted that. So now basically that is a particular file known hosts that gets created once you add somebody. So basically what happened, I tried to copy the ID to EC2 user, but now EC2 user is a user that has not gotten, I mean, this particular machine is only, this thing only works with an identity file. That is the key file, the key pair file, because that is blocked with a key pair. So if I do not give the key pair file, it will not work out. So let me go ahead and let me just open up this one. There are two options. Either I supply the key pair, so you can see SSH copy ID. If I do the, sorry, if I just do a help on this, okay. So you have an identity file option. So you can put SSH copy ID -I and then write that PEM file. So I can upload the PEM file on this machine and I can keep on using that. That is one way, right? And another way can be that I actually go ahead over there and I make sure that it does not ask for any password, right? So that will be even better. So let us go ahead over there and let us try to change it in such a way that it does not ask for any password whenever we try to go for doing it, right? So what I shall do, I shall try to, first of all, let me go to our okay, let me go to the Visudo first. Let me check what is the situation for the EC2 user. Not there. Okay, somewhere it should be there. If it is not there, we can add it. Okay, it is not there. Fine. Let us go and let us add this particular thing. So we do not have this permission for going for no password kind of thing. Okay, great. Not an issue. Let's come over here. Let's add it here. EC2 user, right? EC2 user. We want to write all equal to all and no password all. Okay. Let us do this. Let us see if this thing works. This should. So that is one thing. And in the SSHD, let's go to the SSHD also. So let's just switch on the password based authentication. Right. I mean, restart. Anything is fine. So you can just do anything, whatever you want. Okay. Now, now that we have done this thing, let me try to kind of run this command once again. Let us see if this is working. Otherwise, we can at any point of time we can delete that. Not a big deal. No identities found. Okay. Hang on a second. EC2 user's password. Okay, EC2 user does not have a password. Again, problem. All right, so Control C, come out of it. We can give a password to EC2 user, but I don't want it to actually ask for a password. Okay, well, let me go and let me do that. Let me give a password to EC2 user. So sudo passwd EC2 user E. Okay, let's come back. Let's run it. E. Added, right? So now this has been added. So now I should be able to SSH into the machine without a password. Let us see. So that is, so what I did so far. Let me check it out. And you can see it's opening up over there, right? So now we can open up this machine without a password and without a identity file. Let me explain what I did. Ajay, first of all, how many of you got actually what happened? How many of you actually understood what happened? Can I get a response, guys? Am I audible? Hello?
Vishal.
Hello,
Yes.
Vishal.
Yes. So how many of you understood what I did?
I did not understand Vishal.
Okay, Karthik didn't. I'll repeat anyway. Oh, okay. Who understood? No, I'm asking who understood.
As far as as far as as far as I understand, we just created one public file .pub, and the same file we are going to redirect to second server so that our SSH will be passwordless or SSH will start working.
100% correct. That's exactly what I did. So what I did was, see, uh, let me go through the commands that I had run. Okay, wait a second. So look here, what I did basically. In the Ansible user, I created this. Where is it? Here. I did an SSH keygen. Okay, I did an SSH keygen. After doing the SSH keygen, what happened? I got the .ssh folder. Within that, I got the private and the public key. After I got the private and the public key, then what I did, I simply, I wrote it here, but I could have done it directly here also because this part is anyway not related to that one. So this is where the main game started. I tried to copy the ID to EC2 user, right? I tried to do so. But when I first time ran that command, ssh copy ID to EC2 user, that particular thing didn't work out quite. Why did it not work out? It did not work out because when I was trying to copy the ID to EC2 user was actually authenticated by that identity file. Identity file means PEM file. The .pem file. It is actually identified by that .pem file, and the .pem file I did not supply. Here what I did, I opened a Visudo. So in Visudo, what I mentioned that EC2 user should be allowed to be connected over SSH without any password. And that is why that no password all, that text came into picture. So if you remember all equal to all, no password all. So I wanted it to be usable without a password. Okay. And now you understand why people talk to, ask to keep the same username throughout, because when you keep same username throughout, then even if you do without password, that is not a very big deal because it is only for one user. But now I did for EC2 user itself. But anyway, because of example purpose, we are doing it. Typically, you have to create the same name user, whatever the username is, Ansible admin, let's say. So you can create another user called Ansible user and keep the same name throughout of all of your managed nodes. If there are, let's say, hundreds, thousands of managed nodes everywhere, right? You can keep the same user. So you know that this particular user is the one that I want to look into when I try to do some Ansible based operation. So that user you have to allow without a password login. Now without password login does not simply mean that anybody can log in without password. It means with the people you establish an SSH trust relationship. With the people you establish an SSH trust relationship, they will be able to log into your machine without a password. So exactly that happened. And let me come to that slowly. Then what I did in the SSHD config, I allowed password based authentication. So now this can look a little bit confusing to you, that you are saying that we should be able to log in without a password. Oh, it's 8:46. Okay, we can log in without a password. And also you are saying that we need to switch on the password based authentication. So what is the, I mean, masla kya hai yahan pe? What is happening? The thing that is happening is that now passwordless authentication will be only done once the trust relationship is built. But in order for you to build the trust relationship, first you need to go with the password. Think about it. I mean, just understand the point. So let's say let's say I want to marry a lady. If I want to marry a lady, I want to win her heart. First, I need to talk in the most professional way, isn't it? I need to talk in a friendly way. Then you can ultimately go into a particular part where you can build a relationship with her. I mean, a very bad example, but you got the point. So first you authenticate yourself with the password. Once you are identified over there, then you say that, okay, I want to build trust relationship. That's exactly what he did. So for building the trust relationship, we required to send the SSH ID. So we did SSH copy ID. That particular thing could not have been done if initially we were not authenticated to send files over here. You need to send the file somehow, right? Otherwise, other thing can be just copy the content of the file and paste it over here, which is like, you can understand how bad that an idea is, right? Copy the content of the file, paste it over here. Here we can do, because I am operating on mobile extra with two nodes, two windows side by side, but in real life you cannot really do it. Nobody allows you permission to copy paste data from one server to another server. I mean, that ultimately copies that one. SSH copy ID is internally doing the same thing. It is copying that key information from that computer to this computer, from control node to managed node, right? I can show you that also. Let's do an let's say LSLA over here. Okay, you can see there is a .ssh. Let's go over there. .ssh, and let's do an ls. Okay, so you got authorized keys. So let's get the authorized keys. Okay, look at this particular thing, right? So this is your authorized keys. Let's come over here. Let's go to, or just let me just get directly. What do you have over here? IDRSA dot pub. Okay, this key that you're seeing over here, SSH RSA ending with 172.31.81.78, right? Here it is ending with 172.31.81.78. It is basically the same key. This is where it is starting. Okay, don't look at this one. This is our PEM file key. For the PEM file, this is the entry, and this is the entry for that one. See, the user is Ansible admin. This is the IP address and all those things, right? They're exactly the same thing, whatever you're seeing over here. These two are the same data. If I can copy this and paste it over here, then you'll be able to identify. This command not found, of course, but just look at this. They're the same data, basically. So this key got copied over here. So now you can have a complete accessibility, right? Over this. So you can compare, letter by letter. It will match. It's the same things. So now you can see that this key got copied over here, and once the key got copied, you got the trust relationship built. So now, and why did I change the password authentication? So that you can log in. Otherwise, I had to send the identity file, that desktop nvkp. You can see this is the file that it is looking for. Then I had to upload that file on control node and written SSH copy ID -i, and then this file name, and then ultimately what I want to do. I mean, EC2user @ and whatever. So I just did not want to upload the file over here and use it. Instead, I added a password to my EC2user, because the very first time I want to talk to it, I need to get authenticated. Karthik, is it clear to you?
Yeah, Vishal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about others? Can I get a response, Moina, Bhagavan?
Yeah, it's got it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Anybody else in the meeting? Mithun, you're there? Okay, not sure. All right. So this is what has happened. So now I got an SSH connectivity with this, right? So this is the thing that I have done so far. So now that you have got the SSH connectivity with this particular thing, now what we can do is, yeah, Ankit, I saw your sign, but the thing is I have to take everybody, right? So I have to go with a little patience.
No problem. I was just checking whether it works or not.
Yeah, no, it works, and I am monitoring it continuously. So it's a little difficult to go very fast because I need to take everybody in. Okay, so now that I have copied the ID over there, and I have now a complete permission to actually work over this one SSH, right? So this is the first step of job that we have done, right? We'll do a little bit stuff today, and then we'll once again start it tomorrow, because there are playbooks and certain things that we need to give immense amount of time to them. to understand, right? So tomorrow's session will be completely once again dedicated for Ansible itself. So now what I shall do, see, I will just show you one single thing. Now since I created the managed node, I'll create a new file. Okay, I'll create a new file in my etc hosts. Basically, let me show you etc Ansible. Let me show you. So let's go to etc. Now if I go over here and I do, let's say, an ls, right? So you will find out that there are a lot of things going on. So I want to see, if I try to go to Ansible, you'll find out there is nothing like that. But this Ansible file folder is required, because etc Ansible is the file, is the folder that Ansible actually looks into. So let's create a folder with the name Ansible. Okay. So now that we have a folder called Ansible, we can go inside that. We have come inside that, and we can create something known as an inventory file. What is an inventory file? An inventory file is the collection of hosts. Okay, it's a collection of hosts who you want to ping from your system, like that. So it is like, so just make a inventory file with the name hosts, right? So I'll create a file sudo cat hosts, right? And it's right. Oh, okay, fine. vi. And for today, just for checking it out, write down the IP address, right? So let's write down the IP address of the managed node, which is 172.31.87.92. 172.31.87.92, I think. Yeah. And the other guy, which is 172.31.81, that is it itself, right? Let me write this also down. Typically you will not keep it here, but let's just do it, right? Honestly, for localhost pinging, you have got a separate command called localhost. I showed you, right? Ansible localhost ping, right? So that works out. But kinda, let me put it here. Okay, so 2 IP addresses. Now, what's wrong with this guy? Okay, whatever. Let's try to see if this is working or not. So what I want to do is that we basically want to go ahead and. Acha, guys, did you notice one thing? Nobody asked me anything. See this, I am running a sudo command. I am running a sudo command which is originally to be written by root. Sorry, EC2 user. Not every user gets a permission to run sudo, right? But Ansible admin is able to run sudo. Can you tell me how it is happening or why it is happening? I am running a sudo command from Ansible admin user. Ansible admin or any user, if you simply add a user, just try it out by yourself. You add a user, whatever user you want to add, and trust me, you can never run a sudo command from that. So can you tell me how Ansible admin is getting a permission to run sudo commands? Quickly.
We gave access, no, Vishal, that time. In
We
sudo file.
exactly. We made the entry in ysudo. So when you add in ysudo, wherever you will add, it will not get. It got the permission because it was added in a particular place where it said that it can actually run the root based commands, right? So in that part we had added it. That is why it is allowing you to go for this. Clear? Everybody got the point? So that is the reason that we can actually do this particular thing. Anyway, right. So we have written a very simple hosts file over there where we have just mentioned that, okay, fine. These are, this is the basically the thing where I want to kind of hit when I say Ansible all m ping. Okay, wait a second. It is itself, right? 318792, or it is this one, or it is this one. Okay, Ansible admin. Oh, so sorry. The same username it is looking for, and I have logged in with a different username. I was expecting that somewhere it will get disturbed. So see, here it got stuck because it is by default looking for the username as Ansible admin itself. I told you, right? It always operates on the same username. So it is looking for Ansible admin, and we have got a different user over here, which is EC2 user. And this particular thing that it is trying to do is basically failing because of that. Well, now comes the question that how are you going to change the username, right? In the host file, okay, that's a little bit advanced, but how can we change the username in the particular host file that we have got? So for that thing, you have to understand the key value pair kind of a stuff, right? So We have to basically change certain things over there, otherwise it will not work out. So let's see if we can do it. So let us go over to sudo vi hosts, and over here, let me go ahead and let me write down that the user that I'm using over here, right? So actually, I have to create another file over here. Fine, wait a second. I cannot change it here. Let me create another file over here. Sudo vi ansible.cfg. Okay. Let me write it down. Defaults. Oh, sorry. Defaults. And then remote user. It might work. Let me try it out. Equal to EC2 user. Let us see if it works. Okay. So go for a ping. And you can see you get a success. So I was not actually intending to do this thing, but since I had a different user, I had to do it. So in an Ansible configuration file, you can actually mention that which particular user you're looking for to be pinged with. Typically, by default, it will take the same username, right? And now you know that why you have to go for a same username everywhere. Typically, this is the reason. There is no other reason, right? But anyway, so you can see that we are pinging this machine. We are getting the response back, right? And this one became unreachable because I told you that your local host is having a different protocol. You should not write your local host over there. Local host is not pinged through the same protocol using which this the other hosts are pinged. I simply wrote it, but it didn't work out. So this is a success, this is a failure, right? You got the point, everybody? Yeah.
Yes, Vishal.
Right. So this remote user that we needed to mention over here. So I was not exactly intending to show you that, but sorry about this. We had to do it just because I had taken a name which was not uniform throughout. Okay. So we need to create this Ansible configuration file, and in the configuration file, we need to do this thing, right? Fine. So I will stop today's session over here. I will not delete this machine. I'll keep the machine because we have done a lot of things. I don't intend to do the same things once again tomorrow. So I'll keep the machines as they are. I will stop the session over here, and tomorrow we shall continue after this. And I will ask you to, I'll request you people to actually try to install Ansible and do this thing, because there are a lot of concepts over there going on. Okay. SSH authenticity and this, if you think about them, they are very simple. But when you try to do in practice, there is a chance you might get stuck somewhere. So go ahead and give it a try, and let me know tomorrow how it is going on. We shall be taking a look into the playbooks tomorrow. So this is just a ping, right? I don't want to do a ping. I want to do a lot of things on the machine. I want to install a package. Let's say I want to run a EM update over there. I want to install HTTPD server over there through Ansible from this machine. If I want to do so, I need to write a playbook for that. So we'll talk about playbooks. But anyway, so let us go ahead and let us stop the session over here and just go ahead and do some practice. Fine. Anybody any questions?
हाँ मेरे पास प्लेबुक के अलावा कुछ पढ़ के आना है, लाइक YML?
आपको कुछ नहीं पढ़ के आना, मैं पढ़ाऊंगा आपको जो पढ़ के आना है।
अरे नहीं, फिर समझ में नहीं आता ना, तो एक बार में समझ में, इसलिए मैंने पूछ लिया।
समझ में नहीं आ रहा है?
नहीं, समझ में आ रहा है। अगर थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ लो तो एफर्ट कम लगता है जब आप बताते हो।
हाँ ठीक है, तो ये EML फाइल का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन थोड़ा कैसे बनता है, EML फाइल कैसे बनती है देख लो जरा सा।
ठीक है, क्योंकि एनसिबल कॉम्प्लेक्स है ना, इतना स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड नहीं है।
एनसिबल बहुत स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है, कॉम्प्लेक्स लोगों ने बना दिया एनसिबल को। Ansible is very much straightforward. People have made it complex, saying that it does these lot of things. ऐसे अगर see listen, अगर आप देखो मैंने इतना कुछ किया, अभी इसी चीज को आप देखोगे आपको लगेगा कितनी सारी चीजें कर दी, कितनी सारी चीजें नहीं की है, बहुत ही आसान सी चीजें की हैं राइट नाउ। बस मैंने SSH ID कॉपी करके वहां पे डाल दिया हूँ और उसको बोल दिया हूँ कि भाई तुम जाके नो पासवर्ड पे मुझे अलाउ कर दो, तो ये जाके अलाउ कर दे रहा है, कुछ नहीं किया हुआ है। देखने में बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लगता है। It is nothing. We have done nothing. It is just zero. Copied the SSH key and told it to allow me without a password. That's it. होस्ट फाइल बना के उसके अंदर मैं डाल दिया हूँ। आपको यूजर नहीं मिल रहा था तो मैंने यूजर फाइल बनानी पड़ गई वहां पे, और कुछ तो नहीं है ना, एकदम आसान है। Ansible is actually very easy. Listen, if you think it is difficult, it will always remain difficult for you. Ansible is very easy. Don't worry about it. Okay.
ओके, ठीक है।
चलो, cool. Stop it over here. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Vishal.